Hi, my name is Eric Walker, and I have a little story to tell you today. I've never told the story to hardly anybody at all, except for maybe out with friends, having a few drinks. I think I spilled the beans to this story once, but it goes like this. It was about a year ago, and I was at the mall. I was outside of Barnes & Noble, and at this point in time, I was really fed up with my job. I was a middle school English teacher, just burned out after 8 years. I didn't have the passion for it anymore. I was also in the throes, right in the middle of finishing my master's degree. I was about halfway done, and I just couldn't see the point in finishing anymore. I was really having a hard time. I was hungry as a lion to flex my entrepreneurial spirit, and I really just wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what. So I'm standing outside of Barnes & Noble. I'm at the mall, and a gentleman, about 10 years older than me, approached me. He was very well dressed, charismatic, really clean, well spoken for. He starts talking to me, just out of the blue. And he's really friendly, so friendly that I was about ready to tell him that I had a serious girlfriend. But after listening to him talk and talk and talk and kind of angle his way into it, he was pitching me on a business opportunity. Well, being the desperate person that I was in my personal life, he had caught me right at the right time. So I was listening intently, and I took his card, and I gave him a call about a week later. When I gave him a call, he said he was going to be presenting some information to a group of people at a hotel that was probably about a 10-minute drive away. So, it was kind of a pain in the butt. It was the middle of winter. It was January, February here in Michigan, where I live, and there was snow on the ground, so I had to get in my car and trudge all the way out to the hotel. No big deal, I can handle that. And so I started listening, and it was, be perfectly honest with you, just information about this company, XYZ, their pay plan, why they're so great, why this is such an opportunity to get into. And I got excited. I mean, I listened, but I still had more questions. And I am just somebody who asks a lot of questions, and if I don't get my questions answered, well, then I know that I can move on. So I called the gentleman on the phone, and I asked him some more questions, So he invited me to do just a one-on-one presentation at a coffee shop. Okay, so that was another week later. Same scenario. I'm kind of itching, I'm kind of hungry, I want more information. So I have to wait a week later, and finally we go to the coffee shop, and he gives me another presentation. And this time he was a little bit more, aggressive. He was very aggressive. He wanted me to join his opportunity. He was telling me how great it was. It'll only take me 3 months, is what he told me, of doing X, Y, and Z, and then I'll be able to, make so and so much per month and get out of that teaching job that I don't like anymore. And it was sort of appealing. I was listening. I wanted to do something. I mean, I was in had a desperate mentality. Anyway, but I didn't join. I actually wanted to find out a little bit more information, so I went over to his house on Sunday night. Every Sunday night, this guy had his whole team over to make phone calls. It was like a phone bank. You remember the phone banks you'd see in college? You get college jobs, you could work in the phone banks. Well, that's kind of like what it was. This guy had about 15 people over to his house. His wife was bringing out lemonade and cookies, and everybody else was just kind of frantically making calls and giving each other high fives when they said, "Hey, I got somebody to come to the next Wednesday's meeting." Anyway, so I was kind of just witnessing all this, kind of getting a behind-the-scenes look. I started going up to these individuals and asking them, how did you get these names? How did you get these phone numbers? And from one person, I heard what essentially amounted to the 3-foot rule. He said, well, I just work the retail hours. I said, what do you mean you work the retail hours? He said, well, I go to the mall on Saturdays and Sundays from about noon until 6 o'clock, and I just try to talk to as many people as I can about my opportunity, and I try to get them to come to this meeting, meaning the Wednesday night meeting that they held. I talked to another person, and he said, well, things haven't been going so well for me, so I started buying leads. I said, how much do these leads cost? He said, well, about $150, and he told me how much he could get and what he could kind of expect from $150 worth of leads. And that didn't sound that great to me either. I talked to another person, and he said he just makes pole signs and he drops sizzle cards. Okay, another person said that they go to all the coffee and bagel shops in the area and they put their card on the bulletin board. So I'm hearing all these things and I'm thinking, that doesn't sound that professional. That doesn't sound that appealing to me. I wouldn't, as a teacher, I wouldn't do that. A doctor or a lawyer, they wouldn't do that. So I really wasn't that impressed. But I liked the idea of residual income. I mean, gosh, who doesn't? I fell in love with the idea of residual income, and I didn't necessarily think that the company or the products were that bad. I just thought this business model was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen. So what did I do? The first thing I did, and I want you to listen closely because this is the moral of the story. The first thing I did is I went home and I got on my computer and I Googled it. That's right. I Googled it just like anyone else did. And guess what I typed in? Free MLM lead generation. That's right. That's what it is. That's what I wanted to know about. Free MLM lead generation. And one thing led to another. And you know what I found? I found The Renegade Network Marketer by Ann Sieg. And I did pay $67 to read it. And I then, from there, upgraded to Renegade Professional. And I studied attraction marketing. And I built a web of content. And I did that for about 6 to 8 months. So the moral of the story is, if you're an old school network marketer and you're still doing the outdated pitch fest, 3-foot rule, names list, bothering friends and family, you're losing your prospects to Google. Because when they want to find out more information, when they want to get the real inside scoop, they're going to their computer. And when they type into Google and find valuable information, you're losing your leads. And so I want to, I want to encourage you to start looking into and adopting the attraction marketing principles. The first place that you can do that is Ann Sieg's new free report. It's called the Attraction Marketer's Manifesto. And you're going to find a link somewhere around here, this page. I want you to click it, and I want you to check it out, because you're going to be really intrigued. If you're still doing the hotel meetings thing, home meetings, pitch fest, business cards, pole signs, whatever, you need to start learning about attraction marketing, at least so you can compete with all the other people that are migrating onto the internet. Because when you are competing with them, you're going to lose out. You're going to lose your prospects to them. Okay, so my name's Eric Walker, and that's a short story I just wanted to tell you about how I got involved with attraction marketing and how so many other people are getting involved with attraction marketing. Good place to find some more information, some free information, is the Attraction Marketer's Manifesto, a free report, 75 pages long, by Ann Sieg. Thank you.